Good morning, dear students. Greetings of the day. So, without wasting our time, as we have already started our revision, we have completed chapters. Okay. So, in this video lecture, I am going to explain. We are going to revise 3 marks question. Okay, 3 marks question. First question is I have written all the questions over here. Okay, the 3 questions that I will include afterwards. Okay. But first question is from chapter number 1. Okay, to big state. How did King Harshvardhana expand his kingdom? So I am going to write down the main topics, main important topics, not the whole answer. Okay. So we know that Harshvardhana was a king of Thaneshwar at that time, and when he became the king, his sister Rajyasree was imprisoned by the king of Malwa. King of at that time, king of Malwa was Devgupta. So Devgupta abducted, kidnapped his sister Rajyasree and imprisoned in Malwa. So, and you know that, but at that time Rajyasree was the queen of Kanauj in North India. In Kanauj. So, at first, King Harshvardhana was the king of Thaneshwar. Thaneshwar, it was very small state at that time, and his sister Kanauj was the king of Kanauj. But Devgupta, the king of Malwa, abducted his sister Rajyasree and imprisoned her in his kingdom. So we know that he took the help of his Buddhist friend Divakar Mitra and freed Rajyasree. So after he brought Kanauj under his rule, King Harshvardhana brought Kanauj under his rule. So now he is expanding his kingdom. Later he defeated the king of Malwa. King of Malwa, Devgupta, and also brought Malwa under his rule. Malwa under his rule. At that time, after defeating king of Malwa, he also want to plan to attack the king of Gauda. Gauda kingdom. Okay. And the king was Shashank. He was also very powerful ruler at that time. So, with the help of, he joined his hand with the king of Kamrup, Bhaskaravarman. Okay, Bhaskaravarman joined his hand to the Bhaskaravarman, and with the help of his friend Bhaskaravarman, present it is situated in Assam. With the help of Kamrup, the king of Kamrup, Bhaskaravarman, he defeated King Shashank, king of Gauda, and brought Gauda under his rule. Now, first Thaneshwar, after brought Kanauj under his rule, after he defeated king of Malwa, and after with the help of Bhaskaravarman, King Harshvardhana brought Gauda under his rule. After he also lead, okay, march towards Saurashtra. He also won Saurashtra, and he won some of the part of Gujarat, but he did not able to defeat, could not able to fought with the king of Pulkesh, king of the Deccan region. Okay, at that time Chalukya dynasty in north, Kanauj in the south, Vatapi, and the king of Vatapi was Pulkeshi too, who was very strong, very brilliant. So King Harshvardhana could not able to defeat King Pulkeshi too. So that's why he did not able to expand his kingdom towards the South India. So this is the answer of question number 1. In the same, the second question from the same chapter is, okay, we are going to take the Nalanda Vidyapith. Write a short note on Nalanda Vidyapith. Second question. Okay. Nalanda Vidyapith was renowned university in the kingdom of Harshvardhana. Most renowned university. University. Okay. So Harshvardhana provide all amenities and aid to Acharya Sri Bhadda, the in charge of Vidyapit of Nalanda. Okay. So he made Nalanda a world famous university. With the he provide all the basic facilities. He provide lodging, boarding, free education. Those who want to take admission, he or she had to pass the entrance test. So through the entrance test, they have to get admission in the world famous renowned university Nalanda. So King Harshvardhana provided education, lodging and boarding free of cost to all the students in the Vidyapits. So in that Vidyapit, the Grand and Royal Library of Vidyapit, which was called Dharmaganj. Dharmaganj, Grand and Royal Library. Library provide amenities. Library and library name was Dharmaganja. Okay. Afterwards, with the efforts of King Harshvardhana, Nalanda became the world famous at that time. So students from all across the world marched towards, flew towards take admission in this world renowned, world famous university. Okay. So Acharya Nagarjuna, who proved the iron, arsenic, mercury could be used as medicine, belong to the Nalanda Vidyapit. Third question is from the same. Okay. How Harshvardhana considered it can be considered as a great honor. Why? That we have discussed in yesterday's live class, dear students. So he organized religious congregation at Prayag. Religious congregation held at Prayag at every 5 years, and he lavishly give everything what he had, what he collected for his state, for his kingdom. So he used everything and he donated lavishly in his kingdom, in his religious congregation held at Prayag. So lavishly he donated, and also he give charity, and through this charity he even donated the very precious ornaments on his body away to charity during the congregation. So this is show the generous nature, the kind nature, the compassion nature of King Harshvardhana. So these are the basic topic, main important topics that we have discussed of chapter number 1. Okay, Nalanda Vidyapit, great honor. Okay, now from chapter number 2. Okay, we are going to move chapter number 2. And which are the main important topics, important question from chapter number 2? Motions of the earth. So we have mainly two motions of the earth. We have mainly two motions of the earth. Okay, that we have discussed. Rotation and the revolution. Rotation and revolution. So from this revolution, I am also going to draw the globe, the earth, and I am also going to draw the diagram. I am including question number motions of the earth, then short note on the rotation of the earth, and the diagram question number 7, question number 6, question number 3. So 3 questions I am going to include in this explanation. So you will get a basic idea, rotation, revolution, diagram, motions of the earth. Okay, so that we are going to discuss. So first we have mainly two motion. One is rotation. Rotation means the earth moves. Okay, rotates on its own axis. It is called the rotation of the earth. An imaginary line. Okay, rotation moves on its own axis. On its own axis. Okay, and revolution means the earth Okay, the movement of the earth, it revolves around the sun, it is called the revolution. Revolves around the sun, it is called the revolution of the earth. So all other elements of the universe, that all moves, they have some special movement. So earth has the main two movements. First one is rotation, second one is revolution. So okay, earth, moon, sun, they rotate around each other. So that we are discussing right now. Rotation of the earth. Write a short note on the rotation of the earth. Question number 6. Rotation. Okay. Rotation of the earth. Rotation on its own imaginary axis. Okay. Earth. The movement of the earth on its own imaginary axis is called rotation of the earth. Just as the top rotates on its own axis, in the same way earth rotates on its own imaginary axis, it is called the rotation of the earth. So axis can be considered as to the equator. Okay. So earth rotates on its own axis at the speed of 1670 kilometer per hour, and it takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. So it means one day is of 24 hours. So day and night are possible. Day and night are possible due to the rotation of the earth. Okay. So the part of the earth which faces the sun observe day, and while the one who other side observe the night. Okay. Another main question, rotation, that we have completed. Okay, now draw a diagram of various latitudes of the earth. Very easy question that I have given you. Okay, in the middle. Okay, from North Pole, South Pole, first you have to write, then equator 0 degree, Tropic of Cancer 23.5 degree north, then Arctic Circle. Okay, Arctic Circle 66.5 north, and here 37.5 north. Okay, in the southern hemisphere 23.5 south, Tropic of Capricorn, and 37.5 north, and 66.5 south. Okay, 66.5 Antarctic Circle. So these are the various latitudes of the earth. Very simple, very easy to understand, that we have discussed in this present lecture. So now another main question is revolution of the earth. What is the revolution? So here you can see that revolution of the earth. Question number 9. Okay, revolution, the sun, around the sun, the movement of the earth that revolves around the sun. This is the sun, and this is the orbit of the earth. Earth revolves around the sun. Earth revolves around the sun. It is called the revolution. Okay, it is called the revolution. So the earth rotates on its own axis. This is called the revolve around the sun. The movement of the earth around the sun on an imaginary path. You cannot see with your naked eyes. Okay, so do the imaginary path, it is called the orbit. This is the imaginary path. Okay, the imaginary path, it is called the orbit of the Earth. Orbit of the Earth. So the orbit of the Earth is oval or egg shape. Just look at the shape of this orbit. It is the shape of this orbit is oval or egg shape. Oval or egg shape. 1 mark, 2 mark, very important question. What is the shape of the orbit of the Earth? So the shape of the orbit of the Earth is oval or egg shape. So due to the non-circular orbit of this around the sun, its distance from the sun is not the same throughout the year. So the shape of the Earth, the shape of the orbit, just look at this, oval shape or the egg shape. So due to the shape of this orbit, the distance of the Earth and the sun is not the same throughout the year. Okay, and that's why the Earth revolves around the sun at the speed of 1760 km revolution. 1760 km per hour around the spot, around the sun at the speed of revolves. This is the speed of the revolution of the Earth around the sun, and this is the speed of rotation of the Earth on its own axis, dear students. So don't be confused of the speed of the rotation. Okay, little bit different will be there, so don't be confused. Okay, this is the speed 1760 km per hour, the speed of the revolution of the Earth around the sun. So with the speed it takes 365 days. It takes how many days? 365 days to complete one revolution. To complete one revolution. So this period is known as the year. So this period it takes 365 days to complete one revolution around the sun. So that's why this period is known as year. So year happened due to the revolution of the Earth, and day and night it occurs due to the rotation of the Earth. The speed you have to remember. So don't be confused in rotation and the revolution, about the speed, about the orbit, about the year, about the speed, about the definition. Okay, so these are the main topics that included in this 3 marks question right now we are discussing. So we have completed two motions of the Earth, rotation and the revolution. Okay, we have discussed about rotation, explained about the rotation and the revolution. This is, and previously we have discussed, I have drawn the diagram of the various latitudes of the Earth, and last we have discussed about the revolution of the Earth. So it will come into 3 marks question. So we have completed this question. Question number 1 we have completed, 2 completed, 3 completed, then 5th one is also completed. Okay, rotation of the Earth, diagram of the Earth. Okay, then we have also completed revolution of the Earth. Now we are going to move further. We are going to take chapter number 3. Okay, what is a government? What are its functions? Okay, what is government? So we have already discussed the government which frames the law, the institution. Okay, first you have to write down. Which makes law and execute it. It is called the government. Government. The definition of the government is very important here, students. Okay, the institution which makes law, the institutions which makes law and execute on its, it is called government. So which are the various functions of the government? What are its functions? So resolve economical, social, that I have already given you in your worksheet. You have already given me your your answer. Very easy. Economical, resolve the problem of social and economical. Take care of the financial condition. Resolves the social economical issues. Then take care of the financial condition. Okay. Also manages issue like poverty, unemployment, literacy ratio, sex ratio, provide health and lifestyle of the people, of the citizen, maintain friendly relations with the other countries, maintain relation with other countries. Okay, other countries, provide facilities and amenities, basic facilities like ration shop, education, health. Okay, provide hospitals, emergency, judiciary, transportation, post, railway, etc. These are the basic facilities that has to be provided by the government to the people of that particular country. Maintain law, peace and order. Another big topic. Maintain law, peace and order in the country according to the Indian Constitution. So for the proper administration, for the proper growth of the particular country, this has to be maintained, peace, law and order. So that we have to remember all these things. So another question that we have completed, question number 4. Okay, now we are going to move further. Okay, why does the government operates from a different levels? Which are they? So government operates from 3 levels. As we know that India is very big, highly populated, thickly populated country, very vast country. We are discussing question number 10 over here. Okay, so India, naturally the government has several huge responsibilities. Very vast country. Okay, so that's why they have huge responsibilities. Afterwards, so they have to provide basic facilities, provide basic amenities. Okay, and that's why it won't be able to manage at the same level from the one place. So neither would be the government able to fulfill the will of the people, commitment towards the citizen, or nor would be the citizen able to take benefit of the government. So the government divided the work at 3 different levels that we have discussed. First one is local level, state level and national level. Local level, state level and national level. Okay, local level, that it takes the charge, the government body that operates as village, town or city. Village, town or city. Next one is state level, the government body that rule and manages an entire state. Rule and manages the entire state. And the third level of the government is national level. Okay, the government body that maintain law, peace and order. Maintain law, peace and order. Maintain law, peace and order, and also takes up the work related to the entire nation. Nation. So it is called the national level government, central level government. Okay, so these are the name of this government. So government works at the three different levels. Local level, it includes village, town or city. State level, it takes the charge of and rule and manages the entire state. And the third one is national. The main work of the national government is to maintain law, peace and order in the country and also provide basic amenities facilities. And the requirements and also takes the charge of entire nation. So that we have discussed. So another question is from the same chapter is question number 12. Is I am going to write down over here. Okay. So dear students, we are discussing from the chapter number 3, government. Okay. Which are the main organs of the, explain the organs of the government. Organs of the government. Which are the main organs of the government? So that we have discussed. The government has to perform various responsibility, various activities. Okay. So it's difficult for one body to perform all these responsibilities, all these activities. So each organ carries out the special task. So the main organs of the government is, first one is legislative. Second one is executive, and the third one is judiciary. These are the main three chief organs of the government. So first organ of the government, legislative, consists of the legislative assembly as well as the legislative council, or consists legislative council and the legislative assembly. What they are doing, the legislative council is also known as the upper house. So, and the legislative assembly, legislative council is known as the upper house, and legislative assembly is known as lower house. Council and assembly. So the organ of the government that frames acts or laws. It frames acts or laws, and also they are doing reforming the different laws. Okay. Second one is executive. The organ of the government that execute the law. Law framed by the legislative. Okay. And the third organ of the government is judiciary, the organ of the government that manages, that impart justice and impart justice and punishes offenders. Those who are breaching the law, law acts that are framed by the government, and also give justice. So these are the main three organs of the government. First we have discussed the definition of the government, the function of the government. Afterwards we have discussed about the three main levels of the government: local level, state level and the national level. And the third question from the same chapter is, which are the organs of the government, or explain the organs of the government, why they need it. Okay, legislative makes and frames the acts or law, execute the law, and judiciary then impart justice and give punishment to the offenders, and also give justice, provide justice to the people of that particular country. Now we are going to move to chapter number 7. Okay, very easy question that we are going to take right now. We have completed this question. Now we are going to move chapter number 7, physiography. Okay, we are going to take question number 8. What is physiography? Right now, dear students, I am explaining only the important topics of this 3 marks question that you have to write down in your examination. Okay, physiography. Question number 8, physiography. Physiography. First of all, we are going to discuss the study of the physical features of the surface of the earth. Study of the physical features of the surface of the earth. It is called physiography. Okay, in India also the earth's surface is not same everywhere. Uneven surface, different soil, plains, plateaus are there available. Rivers, ocean, lakes, ponds are there. Mountains. So on the basis of this variation in the landforms, India can be divided into the following physiographic division. First one is northern mountain ranges. Division that we have northern mountain ranges. Northern mountain ranges. Second one is plains of North India. Plains of North India. The third one is peninsular plateaus of Central and South India. Plateaus of Central and South India. Fourth one is coastal plains. And the last one is, fifth one is archipelagos, or it is also known as islands. Okay, so these are the divisions of the physiography. First we have to write down the definition of the physiography and which are the various divisions. So because of the variation, due to the variation of India, we have divided these 5 divisions. First one is northern mountain ranges, plains of the North India, plateaus of Central and South India, and coastal plains of India, and islands. Islands, it is also known as archipelagos. Okay, so second one is, so that we are going to discuss. So we have completed the present question. Okay, so now we are going to move question number next that we are going to discuss is write a note on the plateaus of India. And the last question that we are going to discuss is the deserts of India. Very easy question. Okay, so that 2 questions we are going to discuss. Okay, first plateaus of India. So first topic, just below the plain of North India that I have given you, below the plain of North India in the southern direction. So in the central and Deccan plateau, this plateau is in the shape of the inverted triangle shape. Inverted triangle. Okay, so since the plateau is surrounded by water on 3 sides, They surrounded by water. By water from three sides. So that is why it is called peninsula. It is this plateau is surrounded by water from the three sides, from the north, from the west, east and south. That is why it is known as the peninsula. So this valley plateau is the oldest landmasses of India, and it is made up from the hard rocks. This plateau is made up from the hard rocks that we have discussed. This valley divided the plateaus into two parts. The northern part is called Malwa Plateau. So we have made two parts, Malwa, and it is situated in the north, and the Deccan Plateau, it is in the south. Deccan, it is in the south. Two parts in the plateaus, northern plateaus and the southern plateaus. Northern is known as the Malwa Plateaus, and the Deccan is, and the southern is known as the Deccan Plateau. So, however, many areas of this plateau yield good crops. Okay, yielding good crops, and that's why the area is highly populated. Highly populated. Okay, and they have rich minerals, and that's why it is called the treasury of India. Rich minerals, and because of the rich minerals, it is known as the treasury of India. Treasury of India. So that we have discussed. The last question that we are going to discuss is the deserts of India. In our live classes, I have one live class to explain this topic. Okay. So desert of Rajasthan, in deserts of India, we have made two deserts of Rajasthan and deserts of Gujarat. Desert of Gujarat. The desert of Rajasthan, it is in the covered almost more than 500 kilometers. Okay, it is also known as the Great Indian Desert. Great Indian Desert or the Thar Desert. The Thar Desert. Yes, the land is sandy in desert region. The climate is dry and barren. Barren means nobody is want to stay there. Why? Atmosphere is almost average. Atmosphere is almost more than 50 degree. In the summer season, it is almost too hot for the animals, for the growth of any cultivation. Okay, so but now the changes is there right now because of the government, so it bringing changes. So northern part of Rajasthan provide irrigation facility from the river of Satluj. Irrigation facility from the river of Satluj, and that's why this area, some of the part that are situated in Rajasthan, now growing, developing because of this irrigation, because water is coming from the Satluj river through the canals, and that's why this area is now developing. Greenery is going on, natural greenery. So changes are there right now. Second one is desert of Gujarat. So desert of Gujarat in the northern part of Gujarat, in the Kutch district. Okay, Kutch नहीं देखा तो कुछ नहीं देखा. That I have given you one example. Our brand ambassador, travels and tourism. The brand ambassador of Gujarat is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, and it is there. Lots of ads are coming, and the white desert. It is the only white desert of the earth, of the world. White desert of the only white desert of the world. So it is the sand of this desert is totally white. Okay, it is in the run of Kutch. It seems the earth has been covered with a white sheet. It looks like the earth covered with the white sheet. White sheet. So that we have discussed. So another topic is, it is the only white desert of the earth. So this the run of Kutch can be divided into two parts: little run of Kutch and the great run of Kutch, divided into two parts. First one is little run of Kutch, and second one is greater run of Kutch. So we have discussed the plateaus of India. It is divided into two parts: northern and southern, and also in the desert of Gujarat. It is also divided into two parts: little run of Kutch and greater run of Kutch. It is the only white desert of the earth. It looks like that whole area, the surface of the earth, been covered with the white sheet. Lots of millions of people are flowing, marching, and visiting every year in this famous place, white desert. So we have finished all the 10 questions, and I have also these are the question number 12, 13, and we have one more discussed, that the levels of the government. So total 13 and 14 question will be there in your revision. So still, dear my dear students, if you have any question about this 3 marks question, just call me or message me. If you are not able to get this answer, just call me or message me on my WhatsApp. Okay, so I will provide the answer, I will explain the answer, I will revise the answer. Okay, so dear students, this is the revision of standard 7 3 marks question we have completed. In our next week, we are going to discuss the further question regarding your upcoming examination. So now write down, note it down all the important topics. Okay, so have a nice day, God bless you, and still if you have any confusion, any doubt, just call me simply. So hope, looking forward to meet you very soon on live classes. Thank you so much, have a nice day.